Buffalo Fanatics. It's Don Brown. Yeah. I'm a fanatic, I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Play good, be humble. Number 17, the captain. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Ay, I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Just like Rico, going live, talking to my people. Cause the team's driven like West Hurt. Other teams can't, it's a repo. The opponents gotta call up Triple O. Bills Mafia, we heating up, we too electrical. We got bean the plug, electric show. We wired up, hit up Rico, he fired up. We know where we stand on the power rankings. Other teams fans in the comments hating, we block them all. We protecting Josh. Salute to him, he the general now. Rico got legends for interviews. How the Buffalo Bills got the best fans. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. Back-to-back nights. How do you do? Welcome back to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics on a Wednesday night. Normally, this is not my night. I usually go on Tuesdays, but yesterday was more of a injury update. What were we going to anticipate from this blockbuster injury from our first-round draft pick, Maxwell Hairston, a.k.a. Mad Max, a.k.a. Speedster, a.k.a. Mr. Ford 2? Well, we got some good news today, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some fantastic news. Crisis averted. That's what we should all be exhaling, because we avoided a big time, to me, would have been a catastrophe for this young man. And Maxwell Hairston, LCL sprain, not the dreaded ACL injury that we were all assuming could have been the case for this young player. And you start, whenever big time injuries happen to big time potential players, first round draft pick players, you feel like, man, can we ever have nice things? That's what it made me actually feel like. Can we not just have something that we purchased, something that we drafted, and it actually stays and it works, and we can reap the benefits of this type of player that we have not had in a long time? When's the last time the Bills, before Trey White, drafted a corner where you're like, that boy a dog? And Trey White is a dog. There's no question about it. When we drafted him, big deal. Nate Clements, I mean, that's what stands out to me. I'm trying to think of, I mean, Leotis McKelvin, but then did Leotis live up to what we thought he was going to live up to? He was a good corner, don't get me wrong. So we have a guy that could potentially come in and handle big time business for us. And then you hear that it comes down to potentially losing him for the year. And his young career, it would have been a blow. And just to make you guys understand where this information all comes from, this was actually dropped by both Mr. Mike Garofalo, and as well as Ian Rappaport. They came in and reported first round cornerback Maxwell Hairston, who left practice earlier, obviously, yesterday, had test revealed that his ACL is indeed intact. Not a partial tear, not anything. It's intact, and it is just an LCL. And I say just, but you know what? You can say just an LCL sprain. And what is the best news out of all of this? You know, sometimes you kind of avoid the major injury, but you still sustained a decent one, so you're still out with some time. Bro, we can get this guy back in a month. A month's time. I'll take a month off in the offseason and gain him back ready to go for week 1. Ladies and gentlemen, crisis averted. Now, I'm going to stay on this. I mean, we're going to be jumping into you got to love my guy, my man Bobby. I need that Rico Funko. You stupid ass. I do got to get into something real quick, though. I do have to get into this real quick. Call me petty, and it's not even real petty. It's just things that you got to hit up, right? I promise you we're going to get into camp talk. I'm going to have my guy, Carl Jones, join us. You guys already know what time it is. It's a new season. And, you know, I'm always joined by my guy, Carl Jones, every week. It's a weekly thing. We talk about it. We chop it up, and we go from there. When news breaks, sometimes you have people that you know. You have people that that know somebody else that is their cousin or their father-in-law that you trust. Whoever your source is. Like my man Pierre and my man Bobby, we were all talking about it today. You know what I'm saying? My man Z-Bob, we're all talking about it. You know what I mean? We in the chat. We in the chat. My man Thigh. Breaking news is tough. Unless you have the actual source, it is so tough to be in that type of business. And there was a lot of news flying today about this is what's going to happen. I got a source that told me that this is an ACL tear. You heard it from me. You heard it from here first. You heard it from me. I'm dropping that. Who's your source? Don't worry about it. ACL tear. I dropped that. There was a lot of that today. A lot of put your chest out there and put it out there. Let me tell you something. We've been in this breaking news business before, Buffalo Fanatics. We've had some go right, and we've had one go wrong. And that one that went wrong, everybody's like, you guys suck. You said this was going to happen. It didn't happen. So we got out of that business. The amount of things that are put on our table and we're like, should we go ahead with it? We shouldn't. And today there was a lot of that. And one of the circling the wagons pod, I'm not sure who they are, but they put out something. They were like, yo, we stand on that, stand on business. And they were wrong. I love my train wreck guys. My train wreck maniac and all them cats. Love those cats. They do great work. Fantastic work, actually. And they were talking about the helmets. Yo, told you guys, no red helmets. Ain't going to happen. Buffalo Bills come out and say, gotcha. Red helmets are coming out. It's so hard to be in this business, to try to break the news. And I think Denzel said it best, and I'm paraphrasing. So many people want to be first in breaking the news. You know what I'm saying? And they're so quick to be first, but they're not right. And we've been there. We thought we had something in Jeremy. Do you remember Jeremy Maclin? We thought Maclin was going to join the Bills. Buffalo Fanatics is putting our hand on that. Macklin's joined the Bills. And we had a good source. And this source was good for other things. We didn't get it right. Woo! Did they ever let us have it? It's tough being in that business. But I get it. You want to, get the buzz. You want to get all that hoopla. And here's the thing. Being wrong about something not that important, not a big deal. But being wrong about something critical, like a player that is dealing potentially with a torn ACL, and people are like, what's this going to be like? And you're like, yep, that's what it is. And player comes out and says, hey, we good. Ooh, that's tough. And that's tough. That's tough. The breaking news business, it ain't for everybody. You better know somebody that really knows somebody that knows that guy. Then break that news. But if my mama knows some man that works at the old chip shop that knows somebody that works at the hospital. You know what I mean? That's no disrespect to this position, that's cleaning mops, and he happened to be next to the MRI room and he heard something. That's my source. What? I ain't trying to make fun of nobody. I'm just saying it's just funny because sometimes those are the sources that come about. Sometimes they're right. Most times, you better make sure. You better check twice. You better, like Santa, check that list twice before you put it out there like that. It's just what it is. It's just what it is, man. That being said, tough business to be in. But what I'd like to say is this is like my man Kevin H said, yo, facts and truth aren't important in social media. Listen, man, you got to be factual. Check it twice, check it 3 times, and make sure you're good. But in all seriousness, big news for the Bills. I can't tell you how happy I am. And I want to say something. It actually was, I was about to get on my Twitter and tweet it. And it was on my heart. It was like, I don't know whether you want to call it God put it on my heart to, was just about to. And then I kind of held it because obviously news came out. It was unnecessary, but I did want to share it because I was like, if I'm not going to tweet it, I'm going to share it. Let me tell you something. For those that are I guess people of faith that are Christians, and that believe in Jesus Christ, and it's taught to us that as a Christian, I'm speaking as a Christian man, you thank God in all scenarios of your life, whether good or whether bad. You thank God, you praise him. And I've grown up knowing that. You praise him in the good, you praise him in the bad. When a player says, thank goodness, I thank God, I praise God for whatever the reason is, it doesn't mean that, oh, crisis averted. It just means no matter what, I leave it all in God's hands. I praise him no matter what. And that's a lot of players do that. And I know some people were harping on, oh, it means that everything's good. It could have been that he still could have torn an ACL, but you praise him no matter what. I had that on my heart. I want to share that. And sometimes it be like that. But thank goodness, my man Hairston he's in good spirits, and you love to see it. And he's thanking the good Lord for it, because the good Lord was like, you know what? I'm gonna let you slow down a little bit. I'm gonna let you slow down a little bit. I'm gonna make sure that you see what is in front of you, and maybe that was a message for him. You just never know these days. But crisis averted nonetheless. We get our rookie back at least for week 1, and we're ready to roll. And we are absolutely ready to roll. That has me pumped up like you wouldn't believe. Max Hairston back for week 1. And he could be back even sooner. Now, if I know McDermott, like we all know McDermott ain't playing no games. McDermott's going to be like, I've seen what's happening. I see the landscape. I saw how we had to potentially, scale back and say, oh, snap. Okay, Trey White's going to be the one that's got to hold on. Okay, Dorian Strong. I'm sure there were some shuffling happening, going through the pages. And okay, so here's how we got to. And that's the beauty of being a head coach. That's the beauty of being a GM. You have to be able to adapt on the fly when things happen. I bet you back in 2008, when Tom Brady went down, Belichick he was probably just like, all right, next guy up, right? Most other craft was like, oh, all right, what's going on? Matt Castle, you ready to take this? All right, let's go. It's just what it is. So I'm just glad that my guy, Max Hairston, is A-okay, ready to go. And let me tell you this. I don't want to be the only one talking on this. That's why I brought in the guys that they do it best. And I don't know. We've done this. I think it's been a season and a half now we've been doing this. When you're ready to go, I always ask my man Carl Jones to give me the symbol that tells me he's ready to go. My guy's ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I need to give him an intro music. I think this might be the best intro music for my guy Carl Jones. And if he bumps with it, then we bump with it. Our man Carl Jones. But my God, that's gonna be your intro music going forward, boy. That's gonna be your intro music. My guy, ladies and gentlemen, News 4, Carl Jones, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, my man? How's everything?
Man, I'm all good, man. I'm glad to be back. It's been a long time, but I'm sure you enjoyed your off season.
Time, and you know people have been asking, man, and when Carl Jones coming back, hey man, let him do his thing in the off season. You know what I'm saying? He's getting his feet wet, doing all that stuff. We knew you were gonna be where you're at because you got it like that. So welcome back, my man Carl Jones, friend of the show, and we got lots to discuss. I know I'm limited on time, so I'm gonna respect the time as always. But let's get right into it. We ain't gonna fluff it. Actually, I gotta ask, how you been, man? It's been a while. You been good?
I've been good, man. Still here in Buff, enjoying the summers. It's been steamy, I'll tell you that. Obviously, I've been at camp, and Tuesday was one of them ones. The devil won. I'll just say that. The devil won. That 90, 95, whatever it was. The devil won. But I'm going to come back tomorrow and try to win the day.
Listen, we all try to win the day, man. We can't let listen, the devil tries to get it. He tries to get in, but we get him out of there, and we got this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. Let's get right into the hot topic, Max Hairston. Now, before we get your assessment and your thoughts on the whole situation, how has Max been playing? How has he integrated himself into this team, into the scheme, into it with the veterans before he ended up obviously going down with the LCL injury, which we'll talk on in just a little bit. But how has he been looking before this injury?
I would say up and down. I think there's been flashes of the player that has all the athletic upside that everyone was salivating about a few months back. He showed off the quicks, his explosiveness vertically as well. And I'm going to believe the first day of camp, where towards the end of team periods, we had a nice PBU where he was out of position and that closing speed was able to get him in there and have a nice pass to break up right in front of all the media. That was dope to see. And then at other times, he looks like someone that has a little bit of a long way to go in terms of the technical parts of his game. I believe that was Monday in one-on-ones against Keon Coleman. Keon got the best of him. I believe in all 3 reps. Just this necessarily the technique wasn't there compared to some of his peers out there, most notably Christian Benford and Trey White. But I think that if you wanted to see if that speed was real and the athletic traits were real, it for sure is. He would just have to continue to hone in on some of the more technical parts of the game, because at this level, your athletic profile can only take you but so far.
Love to hear. And you know what I love about having my man Carl Jones on the show, because Carl ain't no, you know what I'm saying, run of the mill. He used to play back in high school like he's you know what I mean, Al Bundy, you know what I'm saying, when he played out Polk High. It ain't that. My man played collegiate ball, ready to go. So he's not so out of the game that he doesn't know what he's seeing. So my concern when we drafted Max Hairston was nothing about his speed, nothing about obviously his ability to play. It was more about his frame and more about his size. Does he look out of place when he's next to guys like Christian Benford? Does he look out of place when he's next to a guy like Taylor Rapp? When he's amongst his peers, his DB peers, does he look out of place in terms of his size?
I wouldn't say out of place, but he is definitely one of the more smaller players on the field. I will say this. During the draft process, that was something that scared me as well, and I had a lot of players above him for that reason. But if there is one player over the past, let's say, 10 years in Buffalo where he was undersized coming into the National Football League and he became a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback, it was Tre'Davious White. So who better to learn about how to play in the NFL as an undersized, or not necessarily undersized, because he's not short by any means, but more slender frame DB. Trey White, I believe, at the combine was like around mid 180, like 187-ish or whatever. Max Hairston, a few pounds under that. So he's not going to be able to win as a physical cornerback. So who can teach you some of the tricks of the trade of trying to skirt those traditional rules? Trey White. So I think there isn't a better landing spot in terms of that point for Max Hairston.
You mentioned earlier that in camp, obviously before the injury, you had some moments where speed is evident. He looks like he's had some really good plays and looks like he belongs. But then there are moments where you're like, he looks like a rookie. What is it about his game that you see, that you've observed, that may take him some time to really, I don't want to say be penciled in as starter, because I don't want to talk about that just yet, because I think there's great competition going on right now. I think coaches are probably still unsure. But what is it that stood out to you that's like, okay, he still needs time. He's still kind of late here. I don't know if he's late here or not, but what is it that you notice that we don't call him the guy just yet? He's still learning.
Yeah, I mean, there are probably 2 things. The first one is obviously the playbook, and I don't know Max Hairston's mental acumen when he's out there on the field.
Gotcha.
But he's only practiced 5 times in a build system that is very, I don't want to say super complex, but it's super reliant upon communication and zone principles and zone rules. And that takes time on task to really learn those and feel comfortable. And not just you individually, but your brothers next to you. Like if Taron Johnson sees something and then throws you a signal or something like that, he has to feel comfortable that the guy he's communicating that to is not going to blow it. And the same thing goes for Taylor Rapp and Cole Bishop. So that's the first thing, is communication, comfortability with the system. Now, in terms of just a pure man-on-man type of thing, I do think he just needs to I don't want to say relax, because I don't have his mental acumen, but when I'm watching him in press technique a few times, and this is just speaking on Monday, I see a guy who is more reactionary in terms of more, instead of taking the assertiveness to the receiver. Like when you watch him and Christian Benford go back-to-back, Christian Benford is taking a fight to Keon. Now, once again, Christian Benford has a different profile, so he can attack Keon a little differently. Even when Keon faced a Josh Palmer in one-on-ones, or even a KJ Hamler, which those battles are funny. But because KJ ain't scared of nobody, so KJ will go at you. So it's really funny. So I understand that they have different tools in their tool belt, and I respect that. But you can be a smaller guy and still be super aggressive in techniques. Like one example of this is a good friend of mine, Denzel Ward, for the Cleveland Browns, a smaller guy, I believe 5'9", conservatively, let's give him 185 on a good day in ankle weights. He's that.
Sure.
And yet Denzel is super strong in press coverage. Watch any of his battles against Jamar Chase and why Jamar Chase never does a lot against the Cleveland Browns is because despite being a smaller guy, he takes the fight to him. If anyone wants to know what I'm talking about in real time, just Google Denzel, search Denzel's name in Twitter right now and the crazy press clip that he has where he puts somebody in a Gatorade. So like, just because you're a smaller guy doesn't mean that you can't be assertive and physical. And I think that's more of the next step. And that, I mean, to be understood, he's had shoulder pads on for 2 days. Like, sure, he's still getting used to that. So, but none of this stuff is, I don't think, where you can't come back from and battle from. Like I said, it's not even August 1st. So like the alarm bells aren't ringing whatsoever.
I bet. I do want to know about how, I mean, the pads are on, but I mean, we didn't really see too much because I mean, this is the first week they've put the pads on. In some of the contact that you've seen him get involved in, I've read from what I've read and what commentary has looked like, he doesn't shy away from getting physical and getting in there. Did you see that? Was that something that you observed with Max Hairston?
To be quite frank with you, I wasn't. So they put on pads on Monday.
Sunday or Monday, yeah.
Yeah. And that was a huge, heavy run emphasis day. Of course it is. Everyone who's ever played football, the first day you put pads on, us cornerbacks, we don't get much action. It's time to run the block. That's right. So I really wasn't paying attention to the corners too much. I was paying attention to the D-line. And then Tuesday he gets hurt in the individual. So I can't really confirm how he's looked in the running game. That'll be something that I'll pay attention to when he gets back to. Probably won't ever see it in practice because they'll be back in Buffalo by that point. We'll just have to wait until game action to see how he looks in run support.
And it sucks because, I mean, with this LCL, now we're getting to the injury with this LCL situation, we may not see action from Mr. Hairston until late, until week 1, really, or maybe even past week 1, depending on how this goes. It kind of reminds me of the Cole Bishop / DeMar Hamlin situation. I'm sure that this is what's been talked about. And it's evident, it's clear how much this feels like it puts him behind a little bit, quite a bit, especially because right now he's learning, and you got the veteran guy in Trey White that has really taken the reins, which now brings me over to Trey White. I'll be real, my man. I was not a fan of bringing Tre'Davious White back to the Buffalo Bills, not because I didn't think he could play. I just thought that the ship has sailed. Like, let him excel elsewhere and do what he needs to do. I thought really that he was going to get re-signed by the Ravens, and I'm sure the Ravens wanted to re-sign him, but he chose to come back to the Bills, and I don't blame him. Tre'Davious White, does he really have a opportunity to beat cornerback 2?
I mean, at this point, I'm not going to put anything in Sharpie, but I think you can put it in strong pencil that he will be the week 1 starter at cornerback. I just think that Max Hairston will be behind the 8 ball to a significant degree by the time week 1 rolls around. I mean, we spoke to Bobby Babish this offseason, and he made it abundantly clear that Cole Bishop missing training camp last year as a rookie was a huge hindrance, not just for week 1, but the entire season, especially, and I can't emphasize this enough, with how communication-based the back end is for the Bills and all the zone principles, passing routes on and clouding things up and changing things on the fly. Like, to peel back the curtain a little bit, you look at the Detroit Lions, a lot of the stuff that they do is man principle related. And not to say that that can't get complex, but it's not as difficult in terms of communication, snap in and snap out. 70% of the time, you're just looking across from you and let's go play ball. The Bills don't operate that way. So if he's not getting these reps on task, it's difficult, I would say, to just step a guy up in there August 25th and feel like that he can make up for all that time that's lost. Now, in terms of the Trey White conversation, I want to make this clear. I am not a doctor, never claimed to be a doctor, but I have played defensive back in rooms with players who have recovered from both Achilles and ACLs. I think this story is one of 2 things. There's one story where you can say, when I played, guys, no matter if they were cleared at that, let's just say 10-month mark, they still weren't necessarily themselves because of the psychological point of it. Like, hey, man, I'm still thinking about my knee. Well, newsflash, you can't be worried about your knee or your Achilles when you got 4-3 running down the pipe. You can't be worrying about your knee or your Achilles when you got a step up and run support. So sometimes the further you get removed from that injury, you get more confident in your new normal because you won't be the same. Not saying it's worse, but you're just body. You have to get adjusted to your new body. Then on the flip side of the Trey White thing, he's creeping up on 30 and he's had 2 major injuries. So that can also be that thing. I will say to this point, he's looked pretty good. He doesn't look like a guy who's had any injuries, but it's camp. It's a very controlled environment in practice. I think me personally, I won't make any big declarations until week 1.
And it's fair. It's absolutely fair to make any. I mean, it's way too early. Some folks may say, "Man, we haven't even played preseason yet. Let's relax. This is the first week of guys getting pads on. Let's see how it all plays out," which is absolutely fair because I even myself have to check myself when we hear great things in OTAs. Boy, it's OTAs. Relax. Then we hear great things in minicamp, and I'm a sucker for it because you love hearing positivity. But you got to wait it out. We got to wait till the pads come on. So I have to temper myself. Apparently my mic is kind of in and out. So let me know if it's all right, folks. If it sounds all right, let me keep it rolling. So Trey White, I'm interested to see how he continues to move forward. But then it got me thinking when this whole Max Hairston thing took place, obviously, naturally, the worst case scenario comes to your mind is saying, shoot, we may miss Hairston for the season. So he's redshirted. He's out of here. So then you start thinking, wait a minute now. Trey White's been looking good. I saw people making a case for Trey White, say, hey, don't sleep on Trey White, boy. That boy nice like that. And then I hear, well, hold on. Dane Jackson was once part, of this defense that he played decent when he was on the squad. At one point, a starter. And then you're like, well, hold on. The rookie Strong has looked good in camp, and he's been known to be a lockdown corner. Tell me more about what you've observed, because I know you've been somewhat paying attention to the DB room. I know you're all over the place because your eyes are everywhere, so forgive me. But what have you seen from the likes of Dane Jackson? What have you seen from Dorian Strong in the DB competition room?
Yeah, I will start with Dorian Strong. I thought up until Tuesday, I thought that he had. Now he's rolling with the threes more often than not, but I thought he looked really strong. Okay. No pun intended.
No pun,
but then, but I will say on Tuesday, he had probably his toughest time at camp. I believe he gave up a deep ball to Deion Kane, a ball from Mitch Trubisky. So deep ball, obviously, you never want the ball to go over your head. And then there was another route that I think he got beat on over the middle, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's had his ups and downs. Big fan of his. I really liked him coming out of VTech. But I think that I really enjoyed watching him and Christian Benford, their relationship, both pre and post practice. They spent a lot of time with each other. I don't know if it's a 6th round pick connection. Don't know. But I will say I do enjoy that. And just watching those two just work on like little small finite parts of the game. Dane Jackson, I think it's been who he's always been. You don't really see many coverage bucks when he's in 23 now, which is so weird. That's so used to be in that
weird number.
So weird. I still have to find myself going, since when did Micah Hyde get back here? But I will say he's in the right place a lot of the times. And one-on-ones, he's competing. He's not getting like embarrassed by any means out there. So yesterday here's the biggest issue that we're running into in terms of just watching solely on the cornerbacks.
Right.
The receiver room is so banged up, and yesterday would have been a prime example to get good on good and judge guys because it was heavy 3rd and long in 2 minutes. So you're gonna get an opportunity to watch the guys on the outside go to work.
Yep.
Well, Max went down, and then the top 3 receivers are there, but no Curtis Samuel, no Elijah Moore, no KJ Hamler, no Caden Prather, and they're not going to run those top receivers to the ground. So the one defense is getting a lot of reps. I can't emphasize that enough against guys who they wouldn't necessarily see on Sundays. It was so difficult. It was so upsetting that happened because when Joe Brady told us that pre-practice, I was like, yeah, this is my time to shine, man.
3rd and long? Boy.
Oh, let's get it. So hopefully we'll get another opportunity to watch something like that with these guys getting back into the lineup, hopefully relatively soon. But I will say with both of those guys, Dane has been Dane, and then Dorian, up until Tuesday, had a really strong camp.
Let me ask you, as part of the media, and you guys are all at camp, and some a lot of the media heads and some of the beat writers are paying attention to a whole lot. Where did you guys find yourself more gravitated towards? Was it more of looking at the receiver room? Was it more looking at the defensive front and what a defensive front looks like? Where did you find more, or was it just overall scattered everywhere? You just try to get yourself all over the place, or was there a specific position group that you found most of the media gravitated towards to see? Okay, let me really take some notes to see what this looks like.
Well, so I got two answers for you.
All right.
On one side, our actual jobs are all different. So, like for me, for example, if I have a specific story that I want to do for my job at Channel 4 that day, I'm going to watch that position group. I'm going to get footage of that guy. I'm going to be around them. And and everyone else has that same, I don't want to say agenda, but that same task of like, hey, we want to talk to this person after practice. So I'm going to watch them a lot.
Of course.
So that's how that usually works. Like yesterday, I wanted to do a story on Shakir before obviously the Max Harrison thing broke out. So I was watching a lot of the receivers. Having said that, though, we all are still fans of the sport. Ain't no different than nobody at home, nobody listening to this. So you best believe that when they doing one-on-ones, 75% of the media are watching the DBs and the receivers. You best believe that when it's 7-on-7, we're watching the DBs and the receivers. It's a matter of fact, I think the O-line and D-line did one-on-ones the other day, and barely anyone walked down there. Mind you, we got 3 rookies and Joey Bosa and Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi new on the group, and it was still the football fan in you just wanted to see fireworks. So you bounce around day by day, one depending on your objective for that day, but also I like seeing touchdowns just like everybody else.
No doubt. Well, speaking of touchdowns, there's one guy on the team that throws a lot of touchdowns, and that's my guy, Josh Allen. Is there a different aura? You know what I mean? The kids are using this word aura now. You know what I mean? You got that aura, kid. Boy, stop with that nonsense. But here I am using the word aura. Is there a different aura about my guy, Mr. 99, a.k.a. Josh Allen, around Buffalo? Or is it the same old with him? I was talking about him just the other day, and I was like, this guy is a megastar, but he's as humble as they come. And this is a good, genuine dude. Taking the time to autographs and taking the time to meet with people. Is there a different aura about him coming into this season, especially coming off the MVP, or is it the same old Josh?
I can't necessarily see a difference at all. I think Josh is, from what I've seen, this will be my 4th year covering the team. He's just always been him. He tries his best, and it's impossible, but tries his best to just be one of the guys. Yes, Ohio Q. Yes, that's me. OHIO with the Q's in the back. You feel me? But he's always been himself. I think what's different now is that everyone else outside of the Bills Mafia, Western New York community sees that side of him. I think everyone, for the most part, has known he's a good quarterback, elite quarterback. Let me not be disrespectful here, elite quarterback. But no one has seen the other side, the human side of him. Oh my gosh, now he's dating a movie star. Oh my gosh, now he's a cool golfer like everyone else. Like, oh my gosh, he's down to earth and cracks corny jokes just like everybody else. Like, so I think now the rest of the world is starting to see that. It began with the Madden cover, the Madden targets the youth of the world. So now they get to see how cool this this guy is. So I can't see no difference with 17. No one. He's been signing autographs like that since he was a rookie. Like,
exactly,
he's been the same guy, and I think the only thing is different is that some person in New Mexico thinks of him differently now.
And you know what? And he's global. He's all over the place, man. Canadians love him. It's just what it is. When I'm talking about the aura and I'm talking about Josh Allen, I'm gonna watch my time here. So I'm looking at Hard Knocks. Cameras everywhere. Do you find that it's made the intensity go up in camp, or is it? I mean, you've been covering the team 4 years now, so you know what the difference is when extra cameras there or not. Is there an intensity that's boosted up, or not? It's the same old, bro. Nothing's changed.
I will speak for what I see on the field because I can't imagine. We've all watched Hard Knocks, at least snippets. A lot of the good stuff happens off the field, so like I can't speak to that, and how maybe guys are gonna not fall asleep on camera, not fall asleep in meetings this year, or a little bit more locked in. Like, for example, like I know as a player, if I had a camera in the room, I'm gonna always keep a pencil in my hand. Camera not in there, I'm like, but so maybe that's happening. I don't know, But in terms of the actual practice, there's always been a lot of cameras around. I would say post-practice when guys bring their families onto the field.
Right.
I think that's a little bit more like intense. Like some guys are like, oh my gosh, I feel obligated to throw my kid in the air now. Or like, oh my gosh. Like I remember day one, I posted the clip of Trey White messing around with Deion's kid. Like I think that would have always naturally happened, but you see more of that this year. I think you see more people being jovial and because I mean it's a camera right there. Like we all got like a little,
you got to act for the cameras, man.
You feel me? Now I will say, Josh, I'll just say this: you heard Josh talk about being mic'd up, and not everyone is a fan of being mic'd up. So we'll all find out August 5th on who's what and who's not in terms of the mic part of it. But the good HBO has done a phenomenal job of being there, but not making it seem as if that they're overwhelming by any means.
I like that. Listen. When I hear stories like this, it makes me intrigued to see, okay, how is this all going to play out when it's time? All right. Let's get into injuries, man. Kincaid, hurt, not hurt, constant plays. So people are paying attention to Kincaid, especially this is coming into year 3. This is a year that we're looking to see how this brother's going to look. Cole Bishop. Most people are looking at Cole Bishop saying, hey, man, this is year 2. We get it. You had the injury. It looked like you were ready to get the starting position, and then you got injured, and then DeMar Hamlin came in, and then it was a wrap from there. Let's talk on Cole Bishop. How has Cole Bishop looked? What you've seen of Cole Bishop and this injury? I mean, like it's in and out. People are asking questions. They're asking questions, brother. You got to give us the inside scoop. What's going on with my man Cole?
All right, starting with his injury, he did leave practice and was in the tent for a little bit, but he did come out of the tent. So
okay.
We will find out tomorrow if the injury is anything that will keep him out. But he came back to practice after he went to the tent. I will say that about Cole from Tuesday's practice. In terms of his play so far in camp, it's so hard to judge safeties because one of the biggest objectives is, can you bring a guy down? Can you bring a guy down in open field? Like, can you tackle him in open field?
Facts.
Well, McDermott does not believe in tackling at Fisher, so that's just not going to happen. We're not going to get to see that part of it. The one thing, though, that I personally, as a football nut, love watching, and this is when you can really tell if someone's just like locked in with the group, is just how much they're talking. And I do remember year 1, it's drilled into my mind on it happening, where Cole was a rookie and they were doing there was a drill right in front of us, it was team, excuse me, and it was a motion happened, a shift, and I saw TV turn around like, you're going to say something, and he didn't. And then McDermott stopped the drill and came over and was like, yo, this is what you need to say, and yada, yada, yada. I haven't seen that this year. I see someone who, when a shift happens, they go from trips to doubles. When the Y goes off the ball, goes in motion, back jumps, I see him talking. And I think that's a guy who's more comfortable in his playbook. The other scenario is a guy who is probably spinning like, oh, my gosh, like I thought I saw that on the whiteboard this morning, but am I sure? I don't know. Like, do I want to be wrong? And that's something that Taylor Rapp has spoken on this offseason. Bobby Babbage spoke on this week, on just how he's just more mature and he just feels more confident in his play this year. So I can't speak to the skills. We'll find that out probably in the first preseason game with the 1 or 2 drives that the starters get. But he just looks more confident and comfortable is the good word that I would use, and what's being asked of him in terms of the playbook.
So I got to ask you this. Camp is just getting underway. When I say, because now the pads are back on, right? They're back tomorrow, and you're going to be back to camp to do all this stuff. Who has caught your eye? It might be tough for you to answer this, but I'm a offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. Who's caught your eye where you're like, let me write that brother's name down because I got to see a little bit more from him, but I'm going to put that to the side, but I'll come back and see it. Anybody that's standing out to you that's got, okay, pay attention.
So this is such a cop-out, but I do think it needs to be mentioned. Matt Milano looks really damn good. I'm going to say that, and I know that you were probably expecting me to say some young buck or somebody down the depth chart or whatever. But I do think this is an opportunity to speak on somebody who everyone, at least not everyone, I won't speak for all, but a lot of people had legit concerns on how he would look coming off of 2 severe injuries, and he's creeping up on 30. If he's not already 30, what would he look like? Well, he picked off Josh yesterday in a beautiful sequence in Tampa cover 2. He, I would say, kindly escorted KJ Hamler to the ground on the first day of pads where he was thumping a little bit. He just looks super explosive, and he made several plays on the first day of hitting in the backfield. I know it's not live, and I'm not making any declarations on July 30th, but it's hard not to see 58 out there now. It is super hard, especially with Terrell Bernard not next to him right now, who's dealing with, I believe, a hamstring injury. 58, he looks springy. And I know the thing with him has always been health. This is dating back to when he was a young buck. If he lost juice, if he lost some of that spark, it won a lot, I'll tell you that.
I like that. So Bernard out, Dorian out. He's next to Shaq Thompson. Shaq Thompson gets some time. I love the Shaq Thompson signing. I was a fan of it. I don't care. You know what I mean? He came off a brutal injury, but if he's anything close to what we think he can be, he could be a nice addition to the squad. I could see him making the team, but that's neither here nor there. You still got to let these guys play. I know I got limited time with you, so I need to look at the defensive line, man. Deion Walker, TJ Sanders, Joey Bosa, Greg Rousseau. Talk to me about that group. Deion Walker looking like a massive man. TJ Sanders was as disruptive as ever. Is this defensive front much better than last year's front? Or is it too early to make that, in your words, declaration?
It is too early to make that declaration, but I will say it looks more promising, a lot more promising in terms of there may not be an S tier. Actually, may not. There is not an S tier player. I think we all know that there is not no top 5 edge on this team. But I do think if things break, I don't even want to say perfectly. If things break in let's say a 80 percentile outcome for the Bills defensive line, it will be the best unit they've had in the McDermott era. I will say that with if you get 8 sacks from Bosa, 8 to 9 from Greg Rousseau, Edward Oliver, maybe not looking like 2023 form, but getting back to a more disruptive force. I will say TJ Sanders has been the best out of the 3 rookies. I will say that. He's been at least the most consistent. Deion has had more up and downs. I haven't noticed Landon as much, but I do know that he's, as an edge player, I know he's had his more of a projecty guy off the edge and who will be at least a plus run defender from day one from Landon Jackson. But we don't see that in camp because they're not tackling. But I like what I see. There were a couple reps, and they were against the backups because, once again, Spencer Brown hasn't played so far. Poor Tylen Grable, 3 straight reps in a row. Greg Rousseau just put hand in the chest. And I get it. Greg Rousseau has dominated backup. He's dominated backups, and I know everyone says that. And listen, I understand it, and I will have that discourse with you. But if things break in a decent outcome for them, this will be the best group they've had.
I've been hearing about this O-line, how this O-lines look great. Obviously, we want Spencer Brown to come back, but I've been hearing great things about Osiris Torrance. Joe Buscaglia was lamenting that even more so today.
Yeah,
Osiris Torrance looking like a man amongst boys. What's going on with my man? You know what I mean? The cyborg.
Yeah, Joe B been on the cyborg train. Well, shout out to Joe B. He was on the Spencer Brown train before Spencer elevated into this tier that he's in now as one of the top 10 right tackles in the game.
O-line whisperer.
Right. And then he's been on the cyborg train at least since the back half of last year, and he's looked really. I will say this: you don't notice the D tackles for the Bills as much as you notice the edges, and I don't think that's because the edges are that much better. I think that David Edwards is a serviceable, at least above average guard. Obviously, right. Connor McGovern is pretty good at what he does, and then Cybo, I think, will probably be paid the most out of all those 3, not just because of his age, but because I think he brings something different than the rest of those guys.
Nice. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball, man. I know it hasn't been fun to watch the receiver room because you're watching a whole. I mean, Josh Allen goes deep to Steven Golston or Gosnell. And no disrespect to Gosnell. You look at my man was like this. No disrespect to Steven Gosnell, but like, we ain't come to pay to see Steven Gosnell. And I'm gonna just be real. I'm not, and that's the most respectful way I can see it. We want to see the guys that are here to make some noise. Keon Coleman had some up and down days, but it seems like he's on the rise, doing very well. Khalil Shakir, you've been watching Khalil Shakir. Curtis Samuel, once again, dealing with some soft tissue injuries, which is an annoyance to me because I want this brother to do so well. But if you keep messing around and can't stay on the field, my man, you know who's going to take over your spot. But he's dealing with some injuries right now. Caden Prather, I wanted to see a lot more from Caden Prather. Not seeing a whole lot because he's on the sideline. Laviska Shenault, is he standing out? Is he just another guy? Is he a jag? This receiver room is that you're doing it right now. It got you scratching your head like, bro, we went from like, yo, this could be a promising receiver room. And now we can't even see how promising it could be because ain't nobody healthy. What can you tell us of who's been standing out? Is it the guy that you're covering right this second, Khalil Shakir? Has he been the guy that's been the bright star in the receiver room so far this camp, or has it been anybody else?
Well, the one thing about Shakir is that in a camp setting, practice setting, he's never going to look like his ultimate form because one of his best trait is that you can't bring him down. So like no one's tackling in camp. So Khalil's best trait isn't going to look great. He's had no issues. He's been fine. I would say you're accurate with your assessment of Keon, where he's had his ups and downs. I thought that when he looks good, you see it. And then when he struggles, you're like, yes, I see that too. So I think that he looks better than what he did last year.
Okay.
How much we will see. I would like personally to see him more matched up with at least Trey and Benford more often, but that is not Keon's control. Like it's not like he had a lot of great plays over Jamarcus Ingram and Dorian Strong. That's not Keon's fault. That's who he's lined up against, right?
That's who he's going. Yeah, exactly.
You dominate who's across from you. I personally would just like to see that against the starters because I want to see. I can envision that on Sundays type of deal. Josh Palmer has showed flashes of why you are, and a lot of people are excited about what he brings to the table. He's going to be, in my opinion, a really good guy in terms of those end breakers, those quick digs, those slants, those third down, got to have it routes. He's just so sudden at the top of his route that you see on film, that you watch when he's in Los Angeles. I think he will be really helpful in that part of the field. Everyone else ain't been there long, they ain't been healthy enough to really judge them. I was really excited, like you, along with everyone else, to see Elijah Moore in action. Hopefully he gets back here relatively soon. He was in a jersey, not helmet, but he was on a jersey with the jersey on the field. So hopefully today or maybe at the scrimmage on Friday, he suits up.
Real quick, and it might be too soon to do this. So it's okay if you take the cop out. The one position battle that is underrated and nobody's really talking about it, but it should be something that we should be paying attention sometime soon. Is there anything that's out there? And if there's nothing and everything's pretty much penciled in, that's okay too. But has something caught your eye? The tight end room, Jackson Hawes, is he showing some things? With Davidson? Are we looking at the running back room? Is 1, 2, 3? We call it a day. Anything that stood out to you? And if nothing, it's all good because I have a follow-up question with something else.
I will say nothing really stands out. I think the one battle that intrigues some of us in the media is who backs up Terrell Bernard, because I think that there was an assumption that it was going to be a Joe Andreessen versus Balin Spector deal, and maybe Andreessen would pass up Spector on the depth chart. Shaq Thompson's taking a lot of reps at Mike linebacker, so I think I think that that's a battle that will last going into Buffalo as well, because that surprised a lot of us where, I don't know how much he had left in the tank. Well, he has enough for the lineup with the first team with Matt Milano. So I think that's something we'll be watching for sure.
I'm going to tell you right now, when we signed Shaq Thompson, I was absolutely thrilled about it because I saw what he was able to do with the Panthers. And if he could get back to what it used to be, we got to steal in Shaq Thompson. That's just me. And we'll go from there. Last question for you. All this hoopla, and you've been around me enough to know that. I mean, some things excite me and some things just do not. Red helmets. I think they're absolutely mid. Some folks are all about it. Your thoughts on the red helmets? Are you all excited about these red helmets? And second question to pair up with that one: have you seen any snippets of the new rivalry jerseys and uniforms?
I'm not from Buffalo, so I don't have the same emotional attachment to those red helmets. Excuse me. However, I do think they're cool. So like, I think that they do look dope in the concept that I saw, but I don't have the same emotional attachment to it because I grew up in Cleveland, so like the Browns uniforms has always been corny. It's like it's an orange helmet. Like what the fuck? So like I don't have the same attachment to jerseys. I'm an Ohio State fan. We don't have the most the Buckeyes don't have the most clever uniform. So I've never really been a big jersey guy. And then I did see the snippet of those other rivalry jerseys.
Right.
I would like to see the full thing before I give a full opinion on that.
You like to see the full thing. So you've seen something?
I've seen the concepts. I haven't seen. I don't know how legit those are or not, but I've seen like the white concepts.
I thought you were gonna share some breaking news. Like what? What you got?
Nah. But I do see something in the chat that I do want to touch on because I do think.
Talk to me. Which one?
Jacob talking about Cook in a breakout season.
Oh, okay. I was just about to hit you up on that. Talk to me about it.
Okay, so I do want to talk about this. For those who are listening, Jacob, my man, shout out to you, asked if Cook has a breakout season, is he getting paid? I want to peel this back layer by layer before I get up out of here. I want to start with the fact that we all know how negotiations work. We all are professionals in whatever industry that we all are in. So I'm not too concerned at the number that he's shooting up or whatever. Like, of course, you're going to shoot for a high number and then you meet in the middle somewhere. But I will say this. Don't ask my opinion for James Cook and how I feel about him. Just look at what the Buffalo Bills have done or what they've done over the past few years and how they feel about James Cook. I will say this. If you believe that he is an S-tier back, a McCaffrey, a Barkley, Derrick Henry's a little different because he doesn't play third down. But you know, guys of that ilk, you play them on third down. He doesn't play a lot on third down. Ty Johnson gets most of those reps. So don't ask me how I feel about James Cook. Don't listen to how they talk about him. Just watch the games and how he's utilized. So I don't want to ever give another opinion on if he's getting paid or not. Just watch how they use him, and that will tell you exactly how they feel about him. Because the only great backs in this league who don't get those reps on that down, for the most part, you either are generational at running the rock like Derrick Henry, and I think that's the only example I can think of off the top of my head. Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor at his prime, Josh Jacobs, all those guys, they use those in those manners. And this is not me saying I don't think he can be useful on third down. That is not me saying that. I am not giving an opinion, one iota, on how James Cook is as a player. That is not my job right here. My job is to tell you, look at how they utilize them and stop asking me, because that is way more indicative. And no disrespect, Jacob. You just gave me the platform. I don't think you was being malicious by any means.
Go ahead and cook, man. Let's go.
But I'm saying, though, like, this is how they feel about him. We'll see if it changes this year. But they signed Ty Johnson early on in free agency for a reason, I feel like. This is what they think of him as a player. I'm not saying this is how I feel about him as a player, but this is what they think of him. And usually guys that you don't give the full endorsement ringing to, you don't think that highly of them to pay him like that anyways. That's my spiel.
Listen, you and I are on the same tap dancing floor, and we doing the same dance. We are in sync, is exactly how I feel. Do I want them to pay him because I want a player to get paid? Absolutely. But you got to look at the top dogs in the league. And like you said, they treat him like that. Is he on the field when the top? Listen, just go to the last series, Chiefs and Bills, who was on the mother effing field. No disrespect to him, but this just, who do we trust to get on the field? If I'm trying to get top dollar, I gotta get my top dollar guy on the field, but he wasn't. He's on the sideline holding his helmet. That's all I'm saying. Like him, we like him, we love him. But
I think he's a fantastic player. That's what I'm saying. I think he's a fantastic player, but my opinion is irrelevant on this. The Bills have told you how they felt. Don't call me a hater. Don't call me don't call me apologist. It's not up to me. This is not something that I will like. That's up to them. And clearly he and the rest of the offensive coaches do not think of him in that manner. So you will never see me publicly give up an opinion on this, because I will just say resort to the end of the last season.
Listen, you speaking the same mother effing language I was speaking on right now, and I'm glad that we're gonna leave it at that. I might even clip this one, but we're gonna talk about another time. But listen, enjoy the rest of your night, my friend. I know you got to drive. You got to what's the drive? An hour and a half to get to
about hour and 20. Hour and 20. Listen to man. Put some Drake on. Put some whatever. I don't know what kind of music you can listen to when you on your way over there. Rod Wave, everybody. I know y'all think y'all sad. I'm a big Rod Wave guy. But then what I do is first 20 minutes, I need music, and then I throw on the podcast the rest of the way. I might throw your stuff on tomorrow.
And run that sucker back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my guy Carl Jones, always a pleasure. We're gonna do this. Listen, we're getting into the thick of things, man. So whenever you make yourself available, I'll be there to make it happen. And it's super early, so we'll get more of your assessment on another moment. Listen, have yourself a great night. Drive safe tomorrow, and look forward to seeing your stuff. By the way, let everybody know where they can find you. Let everybody know what you got coming on. I know you're going to be doing some stuff with you're going to be running a store on Khalil Shakir. Anything else that we should know about you, brother?
Jones11_. You can find me that on Twitter. Doing some good stuff on TikTok, by the way. Getting a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of stuff that I don't post on Twitter. It's a lot of training camp footage, a lot of stories as well. Find the profile real quick on Twitter. It's so new on it. CJones16_.
CJones16. Okay.
Yeah, that's my college number. So CJones16_. That's me on TikTok. Follow me on there. A lot of good content I'm putting up over there as well. Open up a YouTube thing. And then last thing, Friday, Bills Kickoff Live. We have rebranded to Bills Kickoff Live now. Channel 4, CBS, any of those in the New York area need to watch us. We'll be doing good things on there. Your boy will be on the show. And I think I'm giving off my campers to this point. If you want to find out who I think has been a camp stars to this point, you're going to have to find out 7 o'clock on Friday. Y'all be good. OHIO. Go Qs.
Yes, sir. That's my look. My man sign off like that, like a G. My guy, Carl Jones, always a pleasure. And I hope you guys appreciate when I do bring on my guy, Carl Jones, because he comes in, keeps it a buck, comes in and gives you the assessment. He doesn't get too deep into certain things. But I'm going to tell you this. There was a bit of a passion when it came to James Cook. And he lamented everything I've been telling y'all about James Cook. If they value him the way that some of y'all value James Cook, they would have put him on the field, you know what I'm saying, when push comes to shove, when the guy needs to do what he needs to do. Now, we all like James Cook. We think he's a tremendous talent. But what does Coach McDermott think about him? And what does Brandon Beane, where does Brandon V value him? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. But what I do respect is that brother said, I ain't holding out. I ain't holding in. I'm here to play. Let me get my monies. Let me get my money-ons. I'm going to get it here. I'm going to get it elsewhere. But I don't blame him for that whatsoever. However, it's going to be indicative on what and how Joe Brady decides to use him. Do they use him like a bell cow back? Can he take on the rigors of that? We'll soon find out this year. But I love when I bring my guy Carl Jones on. If you guys appreciate these type of shows, y'all let me know. Smash that like right this second. Go ahead and smash that like. And you heard Jones. Follow him on TikTok. I'm going to do the same because if he's not putting content anywhere else, he's going to be doing on TikTok. So you got to make sure you go and get on TikTok and do that. Do that thing. All right. So that being said, valuable questions. I'm going to have my man Carl Jones, God willing, every week. So if you have any questions that you may want to present or put out there, maybe something that I've missed, go ahead and obviously hit me up or say, hey, can you ask Carl this? Or come into the chat and go ahead and ask your questions in the way we go. By the way, my man Robert says, yo, Rico, you coming to the scrimmage on Friday? Brother, I would love to come to the scrimmage on Friday, but tickets are probably sold out, or if they're not sold out, they're given, or they're at capacity. So no, I will not be there. It'd be nice to go to a game like that, but with what Carl told me, like, fam, guys are banged up. You're not really truly getting one-on-ones. And when I say one-on-ones, I'm talking ones versus ones. You're getting a lot of threes versus ones, and I ain't here for all that, man. I'm trying to see Spencer Brown be on the field. I want to see Spencer Brown v. Greg Rousseau. I'm trying to see Deion Dawkins v. Greg Rousseau. I'm trying to see Spencer Brown v. Joey Bosa. I want to see Osiris Torrance go up against TJ Sanders, David Edwards against Deion Walker. Like those are the things I'm trying to see. I want to see a fight. I want to see a war in the trenches. I ain't trying to see depth on depth. I mean, I love it. I do. But you want to see the ones against the ones. The ones against the ones. That's what I'm trying to see. Real talk. So that being said, it's going to be like that. My man said, yo, shit, that's 24-hour ride for the wood. Ride for the wood, he said. But my man said, what? Robert said he got 16 tickets on account? What? How do you have that? Shoot, you might. Listen, Robert Kane, if we can do some kind of giveaway or something of that nature, come back and join the show on Friday. And maybe you got 16 tickets, so maybe we can kind of give one out. But the thing is, Robert, maybe you don't know this, but I live in Canada, man. So for me to get out there to get a free ticket to the blue and red game is going to cost me like $1,000 to fly out there, get a rental. It's just going to be too costly for me. Plus, I'll be in Buffalo week 3 against the Miami Dolphins, so it's be good. But Robert Kane, I appreciate the love. Honestly, that is super great. But maybe we can turn that into a giveaway. You know what I mean? So let's talk about that. So see you Friday, or hit me up on Twitter and we can talk about it. Let's go. So folks, a couple things that I wanted to touch on before I get out of here, because I really wanted to have a show with Carl and ask him some questions about camp and seeing how that shows up. But what I really loved hearing was Shaq Thompson getting a lot of playtime. We love the story of Joe Andreessen. He may very well still make this team. Balen Spector could be on the outside looking in. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is that we got Shaq Thompson for a steal. I love it. You get that brother with the veteran ability, his ability to he's been in this game as a vet. He's got the experience. And if he's got any inkling of what he had back in Panthers days that he can bring to Buffalo, buddy, that's a win for the Bills with the linebacker core. Thompson, Milano, the way Milano's playing right now, Dorian, and you got Bernard, bro, that's a heavy group. Eddie Ulufoshio will be the guy that takes over, or Balen Spector. I don't know. But that's a decent linebacking core that I'm okay with. So that being said, if you recapping what we talked about Max Hairston avoiding injury. What a huge sigh of relief that is for Bills Mafia. We get to have him relax, get himself healthy, and then we go from there. On the bright hand, the bright spot. Anyways, on the right side of things, there's always a reason for things to happen. Is there a redemption arc for our guy Tre'Davious White? He comes in, signs with the Bills. I'm sure the Bills said, you have every opportunity for you to come in and start and potentially beat out this rookie. Unfortunate, this rookie has gone down with a minor injury, which is fantastic news. But Trey White now has an opportunity to really distance himself from Max Hairston, to make it so obvious that he is the right guy for the cornerback 2 spot. You would love to see it. And if it gives time for Max Hairston to sit and chill and I guess take the Cole Bishop route, where your season truly starts, you know what I mean, week 3, week 4, because now you're just ramping yourself back up. You're getting some reps at practice. You become the nickel. You might get in there some spots here and there, but it's going to take some time for him to get himself back into football shape, right? Having this LCL injury. Who knows? Guys, these young, they recover rather quickly. But at the end of the day, what's really nice about this is Trey White has a grand opportunity to come in and say, you know what? It's going to be me and my guy Benford on the outside. I got a lot to prove. I love this city. My kids were born in this city, and I'm back where I'm supposed to be. I never wanted to leave in the first place. Here's my redemption. I get to come back and prove things and prove myself right, that the Achilles is behind me, the ACL is behind me, and I'm back where I'm supposed to be. 2-7 is back in the building. Those are stories that you love to hear. So welcome back, Trey White. Grand opportunity to now become the guy, cornerback 2. And you know they're going to test you. You know they're going to go at you. So you got to prove your way. Now, I wanted to see and hear a lot more about the safety room. Taylor Rapp has been doing fantastic so far this offseason. Damar Hamlin, I haven't heard a peep about him, but I'm not really in the business of caring about what Damar Hamlin does, truth be told. If he gets to become a starter because circumstances fall that way, we know what we get in Damar Hamlin. I want to know what Forrest is doing. I want to know what Cole Bishop is doing and how he's doing, right? Max Hairston has had an up and down offseason. It's actually noted, and it's okay. You're a rookie. You're supposed to go up and down. You're not supposed to be, rising all the way through. And if you are rising all the way through, then we got one of them once. But realistically, he's doing what we expect from a rookie. Have some good days and have some rough days. Now, what I want to see is Elijah Moore get on the freaking field. What I want to see is seeing the whole unit together. I want to see what Elijah Moore does with pass. I want to see Khalil Shakir consistently do what he does. I want to see Keon Coleman put a string of consistent days together in order for this offense to flourish. Now, I had a question that was asked. If you could bring back a receiver to Buffalo or bring in a receiver to Buffalo, who would you bring back? And Amari Cooper's name came up, and I was like, would I and could I see the Bills trying it again with Amari Cooper, but having an offseason to kind of get acclimated because he's already got the offense down? Could you see Amari Cooper returning to the Bills? I wouldn't be mad at it. I would not be mad at it. Keenan Allen is still very much available. Yes, he's older, but he is a route running machine. I could totally see the Bills bringing him in, but he'd be a slot receiver. So you got Khalil, you got Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore can play a little bit of both. So maybe that wouldn't work. I see people talking about bring back Gabe Davis. No, thank you. I'm good on that. I liked him when he was in Buffalo, but there's nothing that tells me he's light years above any of the guys that we have on the squad. I like what we got right now. I'd bring back, you know what I'm saying, my barefooted wonder before I brought back Gabe Davis. I'm being for real. I'll bring back the barefooted guy that went to the Patriots to come back. That's just to keep it real. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this offense looks like when everybody's healthy. All this guy's hurt. He's not here. Spencer Brown's not here. We don't have a full old line. It's kind of disheartening. But one thing's for certain, Josh Allen's going to do what Josh Allen does, and that's going to make everyone better on this offense. He's going to make every receiver look better than they really are. And that's what he's done in his whole career. Honestly, Gabe Davis went somewhere else, and this brother signed a big, huge deal, and he's not on the team right now. Just to give you a quick example. So things can move rather quickly. But when you have a guy like Josh Allen throwing you the rock, boy, you good. You are more than good. So these position battles will start to heat up. You will start to see it heat up. Pads are on now, so we're going to get into the thick of things. Apparently, is preseason tomorrow? Preseason can't be tomorrow just yet, is it? Anyway, somebody told me that preseason starts tomorrow, and we'll start to get games going. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this offseason breaks out. Guys just need to get healthy. The amount of guys on the injured list is unbelievable. How could you put a good product on the field if we're not healthy? If we're getting nicked and knacked by all these soft tissue injuries, that's a killer. That kills your offseason. We need guys to be healthy. I know you got a whole offseason to go, but this can go rather quickly because preseason 1 goes down, preseason 2 goes down, third game, we're into it. Season's around the corner. We're going to start talking about fantasy drafts, for crying out loud. So I'm going to just say it's coming along. It's going to come along rather quickly. My man Walter says, had I known Cooper was going to be insanely cheap, I would rather try him again than Palmer. Ooh, that's a controversy. I'm going to remain skeptical of Palmer until we see it in a game because he's been the same guy since college, in my opinion. And that's fair. I mean, if you've been watching college football and you've been paying attention and following Palmer, just maybe, he might be the same guy. But the one thing that is not the same is who's throwing him the football. I will take Josh Allen 10 times out of 10 over Herbert. I will take whoever the quarterback was, when he was at Tennessee, I think he was at Tennessee, and I'll take Josh over him. So Josh and Palmer coming together, that's a whole different ball game, right? Josh and Diggs was a whole different ball game. Kirk Cousins, you know what I'm saying, and excuse me, it was who was throwing the football to my man Diggs in Minnesota. It's Case Keenum. Remember, you had Case Keenum throwing the football. You feel me? So I'll reserve judgment until I see that connection go back and forth with one another. That's the way I'm looking at it. So the quarterback throwing the football makes all the difference for me. So I respect what my man Walter's saying. He's like, listen, I know what this player's like. And until I see him show me what he's really, truly got, I'm a reserve judgment. I'm a little skeptical. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I respect it. Is it the Hall of Fame game? Is the Hall of Fame game tomorrow already? Golly. Football is back, ladies and gentlemen. Football is back. So it's going to be an ugly game to watch. Number one, you know how those games go. The first series, maybe the starters play, maybe they don't. And then the rest of it is just USFL football, pretty much. UFL football. I mean, I'll tell you right now, CFL football is much more entertaining than an off-season first game preseason of the NFL. But football is back nonetheless. The red-blue game is on Friday, 5:30. So that should be a fun one too. Hopefully people get healthy and we get ready for that. And then once that game is done, folks, we're back to Buffalo for things to continue. My man Robert Kane says Curtis Samuel's gonna have a breakout year. I don't know about that one, bro. I don't know about Curtis Samuel having a breakout year. And if this continues that he's on the sideline yet again, then you might see Elijah Moore get more time. You might see Caden Prather get more time. Who knows, right? But we just need guys to be healthy. That's what it comes down to. We just need guys to absolutely be healthy. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I wanted to just to kind of get my guy out here and chat it up and see how his thoughts on what he felt, how the league is, the team is coming along. And I think it's a little early. I mean, the guys just put their pads on right now. So they're now just getting to the thick of things, right? But August 5th is when we get to see HBO. So we're going to see a lot of the behind the scenes. So my question to you guys, behind the scenes, who do you think they feature? I've asked this question before. I'm going to ask it again. They're going to feature someone. Is it Trey White that they're featuring? Are they featuring Deion Dawkins, the charismatic left tackle? Are they following him along? What battle are they going to be following? What depth player is fighting for his life to make this team? I'm curious as to what angle and who they're going to follow. So you guys let me know in the chat who you guys think they're going to be following. Go from there, and we'll see how it all shakes out and breaks out. My man, crazy how much snaps Virgil got last year, just no catches. Wonder what that was all about. Competition now, man. Competition now. We're going. Listen, when there's more guys, they bring more guys in, and they start getting a little more shine. You don't get as much opportunity. It's just what it is at the end of the day. So these performances and these opportunities are limited. So you got to break out when you can. You know what I mean? So it goes from there. So folks, I appreciate you, every one of you guys tuning in on a Wednesday night. We had 1,100 people rocking with us thus far this tonight. We had, almost just shy of 150 on YouTube. We had about just shy of 1,000 people on Twitter. So salute to y'all. I got my guy on Twitch. That one guy watching on Twitch, gotta love it. Respect to you. So folks, I'm out of here. You guys have yourself a fantastic evening. We'll catch you guys again on Friday. Actually, I don't think I'll catch you guys on Friday, depending. The wife booked me. I say booked me. We're going to a campground. I got a story for you guys on a campground. I got to talk to you guys about campground. Do I have time? I got time. Let me get my campground story on. So 2 stories regarding the campground. So we got invited to this campground in Nova Scotia. And you guys have known, I'm not an outdoorsy guy. I'm not a camp guy. And if I do go to a campground, it's got to be like, for us, provincial. I don't know what they call it out there. For you guys, provincial parks for me, where there's got to be a washroom. There's got to be, running toilet, shower, all that stuff. That's got to be there. I'm bougie like that. Glamping, what you want to call it, that's me. And I don't have no bones about it. I'm not a rough it out, put my camp, dig a hole in the floor, cut it out. That ain't me. Anyway, let me proceed. So we go to this campground, and we get there, and I'll tell you right now, I'll be real. I don't know where you guys are from, but where I'm from, when I've gone camping before, it's always been a majority of the white folks are there. It's all white folks. I go to this campground. There was a lot more black folk than I anticipated to see. I was like, what? Okay. You got my attention now. All right. So, we head nodding. We do one of these because we know this is not typically what we do. You know what I'm saying? So we go out there, we meet with my wife's cousin, and they got a camper. So we're hanging out. Music is going. They're like, yo, you want a drink? I'm playing washer toss. I told them I don't know how to play washer toss, but I'm washing their ass. I'm tossing them. I'm bringing them in, having a good time. And I'm watching how everybody is just laid back and chilling and having a good time. And I'm like, when you do something for the first time, or in a long time, or you haven't done anything, or a friend invites you to go on their boat, and then you start thinking, man, maybe I can get a boat. I started thinking, man, maybe a camper wouldn't be so bad. I could do this every weekend and just forget what's going on over here. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Who knows, right? And just buy myself a little small camper, enough for me and the kids and the wife, and just chill out, because the people were amazing everywhere. And I ended up knowing some people that were there already, which was odd already. And it was a great time. So then I'm like, maybe I can get myself a camper. And maybe I can get myself build a deck around it and have a good time, and this, that, and the third. So then now the wife was like, yo, my mom, we're going to another campground, and she booked it. So we're supposed to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I was like, ooh, 4 days? I mean, 2 I could do. 4, I ain't sure about that. So potentially I'll be leaving Friday, but depending if it's raining or not. So that's what's going to allow me to do a show with my man Z-Bot. But if the weather's good and we're going out there, you might not see me on Friday. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. So potentially, I'm glad I was able to see you guys twice, yesterday's show and today's show. We may not see you Friday, but hopefully we can, and we'll get it cracking again and get things going. So, folks, if you guys have any camp stories or camp stories or suggestions for me to really enjoy myself, or am I overhyping it? Is being on a campground with all these other people, isn't it great? Isn't it chill? Or am I overdoing it? Am I overhyping it? Is it because it was new to me and I was like, okay, because doing it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it becomes just boring and it's just not as fun? Or was I wrapped up in the moment? Maybe I was wrapped up in the moment. Maybe I should just chill out. You know what I mean? But it felt good. It felt good. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna drop that, and we'll see you guys Friday. If you don't see me Friday, that's because your boy's at another campground doing campground things. You know what I mean? In my camper. Anyway, so you guys have yourself a fantastic evening. We will catch you guys again potentially on Friday, or we'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Folks, have yourself a fantastic evening. We'll catch you guys on the flip. Let me get my intro music going, and we'll catch you guys again. Have a fantastic evening. We'll catch you guys just on Friday. All right? Peace.
Buffalo Fanatics. It's Don Brown. Yeah. I'm a fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Play good, be humble. Number 17, the captain. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Hey, I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Just like Rico, going live, talking to my people. Cause the team's driven like West Hurt. Other teams can't, it's a repo. The opponents gotta call up Triple O. Bills Mafia, we heating up, we too electrical. We got bean the plug, electric show. We wired up, hit a Rico, heat fired up. We know where we stand on the power rankings. Other teams fans in the comments hating, we block them all. We protecting Josh. Salute to him, he the general now. Rico got legends for interviews. How the Buffalo Bills got the best fan base. Away games, red, white, blue in the crowd. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Play good, be humble. Number 17, the captain. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Hey, I'm a Buffalo fanatic.